everyone, welcome back to the channel. So yeah, this is my new guitar. It actually arrived yesterday, so I've had a little bit of time just to play around with it and get used to it. And first impressions are really great. This is the PRS Custom 24 Semi Hollow Piezo, however you say it. It's effectively the acoustic style pickup in the bridge. And I think it sounds really great. And to be honest, that was a big selling point for me on this guitar. I'm a big fan of semi-hollow guitars as it is. I really like my 335, and I also have a thin line telly, a Whitfield Telecaster. And I really like the sound of these guitars. I really love playing them. But I've always wanted something that can really do it all. And I think, well, I'm hoping that this is it. Certainly in a few of the bands I play in, I do need to switch between acoustic and electric tones quite frequently, and more than often in the same song. Especially with some of the country tunes where a lot of the rhythm parts, the verses and the choruses are often acoustic, but then I may need to take a solo. So whilst I can do it on the acoustic, it always sounds better with an actual electric guitar. So these have been out for a few years now, and when they did come out, they instantly caught my eye because they came out in some really cool finishes. I think this is called something like Orange Tiger Burst. It's very red, and not really what I was expecting, if I'm honest. But I do really like it. They also brought it out in this cool blue color. I think you can also get it in black, and then like a more traditional sort of sunburst as well. So I decided to go for this color. I did notice as well that they've just I guess released, haven't really seen an announcement or anything. They're kind of 2026, I guess, facelift versions of these guitars. And from what I can tell, they have different pickup rings and also the new tuners that PRS have designed, the kind of strange lightweight ones, which aren't really for me. So I decided to go for, I guess, the 2025 model. This guitar was actually built in 2024. It has an inspection sticker on it, 21st of October 2024. So I guess it's just been kind of sat around waiting for somebody to buy it until then. I got it from Guitar in the UK. They were previously, I believe they were £1,500. I'm not sure if they've come down since then, but I paid just under £1,000 for this guitar, so it's still a very expensive guitar. But when it comes to taking something like this, my core line Custom 24, or even something like my 335, I feel much happier taking a guitar of this value to a gig, especially if it's somewhere that I've not been before, and I don't know how kind of safe or secure my equipment's going to be. So yeah, I decided to pull the trigger on this. I don't usually go for Black Friday bargains or sales. I think they're a bit of a trap, especially when it comes to gear. I do buy things like software instruments or plugins because they do tend to be quite a good deal over Black Friday. You can get quite good deals over Black Friday. But I find for guitar gear, it's often manufacturers or stores even just trying to shift the stuff that they need to move on. And I have noticed that there are some great deals on PRS SE guitars over this kind of Black Friday sale that we're living through at the moment. But yeah, so this is my guitar. First impressions are it needs a very slight setup. The action's a little bit high for me. The fretboard definitely needs a bit of treatment. It's looking very dry, a little bit washed out. So I'm going to get some Monty's instrument food on that. One thing that really bothered me about this, the veneer, I said it wasn't book matched. It's pretty close. You're not going to get a book matched top on a guitar of this value. And to be honest, even my Custom 24 isn't completely book matched. But But in certain lights, the bottom half of this, you can kind of see it there, especially under the pickups. It just kind of washes out, and it just looks very flat. But then when you look at it from different angles, you can see the flame. It's me being super picky, but as I said, it's still expensive for a guitar, so I want it to be right. I have kind of just sort of like slept on the idea and decided that it doesn't really bother me that much. It is a tool to me at the end of the day. Whilst I love all of the guitars that I have, they are just tools that allow me to ultimately fulfill my passion, which is to play music live. And this is another one which does something different. So you heard some tones in the demo just now. What I was actually doing was using the piezo for the acoustic parts at the beginning, and then for the rhythm parts, it was actually just one take, but with both pickups. I wasn't blending anything because I have both outputs connected. They're going straight into my interface, which is an Audient ID48. I'm not doing anything to them. I'm just going straight in, and I'm using the Helix native plugin. So the piezo has a bit of compression using the LA Studio compressor, and then just a bit of hall reverb. The overdrive tones are sticking with the PRS theme using the Archon model that's on there. I really like that amp. I think it sounds great. I have plugged it into some of the amps that I have here as well, and I'm really impressed with it. Even running the piezo through an amp does actually sound quite good. But I think for live, I'll go straight into the front of house and just apply some compression and a bit of reverb as I've done on this recording. So yeah, this is just the piezo. Really beautiful tone. Works well for just picking, but also for chords. So I'm really happy with the sound of that. It doesn't need a lot of processing. In my opinion. I know you can get like lots of preamps and stuff, different kind of effects specifically for these types of pickups, but I think for using it live, it gets you most of the way there. I don't really want to just mess around with adding lots of other things to it. The bit that I've struggled to achieve with my other guitars in terms of getting a really good acoustic sound from an electric guitar has been achieved by just using this pickup. There are no other kind of settings or controls for the acoustic tone. It's really just this volume blend. One thing I have noticed is if you have the trem arm in, if you knock it, you do get quite a bit of noise from the piezo. But I think you could probably use it in quite a creative way because it does have quite a boomy sound to it. You could probably use it for like a kick drum sound if you were looping with this guitar, which I know is part of the appeal for a lot of people. And then just moving on to the actual, I guess the magnetic pickups, the electric tones. I'm not sure what sound I have here, but it's probably quite overdriven. I'll just have this on its own. I mean, it sounds like a PRS. I know people say that it doesn't have mojo, or sorry, that the guitars from PRS don't have mojo, or they're a bit kind of soulless. I don't agree with any of that. I think a lot of the mojo comes from just you playing the guitar, make it your own. So I think in terms of it sounding like a good guitar, it absolutely does that. It does have coil taps, coil splits. I'm not actually going to go through all of the tones on this guitar because there are so many videos out there which have some really great audio examples. I really just wanted to share my thoughts on it, first impressions, and really how I plan to use it as a gigging musician. I think the coil tap tones do offer a lot of versatility. I'm a big fan of having like a single coil on the neck pickup. Just gonna change this tone to something a little bit more usable. So then on the neck pickup, and if I was to coil tap or to split the coil, which is, oh, it's all done off of this one. Try not to break those. It does actually sound really nice when you blend both the piezo and the pickups in together. I think it gives you a really, I guess, unique sound, but it also allows you to use quite a warm guitar tone and then just add a bit of clarity using the piezo afterwards. So yeah, I guess just to summarize, I'm really happy with this guitar. I think it looks great. I think it sounds cool. It's really nice to play. I am looking forward to getting these strings off and just setting the guitar up, giving the fretboard a bit of clean. It's not dirty, it just needs hydrating, I guess. There are a few things that bother me about it. I think the birds, when I compare them to the birds on my core model, they're just nowhere near the same quality. I don't really know how to describe it. They just don't look as good. Obviously it's a different material. Or a different quality of the material, but yeah, there's definitely a gap there. The binding's really nice. The veneer on the headstock looks cool. The pickup rings, this is super picky, but it bothers me, so I feel responsible to mention this. A responsibility to mention this. The plastic is different. It's different to how it is on the core line. This looks a bit kind of translucent, and it just looks a bit cheap. So, I don't know, let's see how it goes. I might change those. And also the pots, these kind of gold effect, I don't know, they just don't look as good as the black clear ones that I'm used to seeing on a lot of PRSs. The switch tip is fine, I'll accept that. I'm probably going to change the tuners for some locking tuners because PRS make great locking tuners for their guitars. And the SE is no exception. They do make a drop-in set. I think they're about £90. So I'll grab a set of those at some point. But yeah, other than that, I'll just give it a once over. If anyone's interested in seeing sort of what I do with a new guitar, just to kind of get it ready and get it to the kind of standard that I like, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to make a video about that. I'll be doing it anyway, so there's no harm in setting up camera at the same time. But yeah, as always, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for coming back. If you've checked out my channel before, if you're new here, welcome, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do all the YouTube stuff. It costs you nothing to subscribe or like this video, but honestly, I can't stress enough how much it helps out the channel. And yeah, if you have any thoughts on this guitar or the PRS SE guitars, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Would love to hear what your thoughts are. If you have one, what do you think of it? But yes, as always, I have been Craig. Thanks again for checking out the video. Go play your guitar.